Shall we get into it?
Yes, we had a long wait, Ash, for England to kick off. Almost the last game of the group stages. We're in the last group, but it was worth the wait, wasn't it? After a weird and complicated first half, well, we came good and we looked really, there was spells of 20 minutes there where we looked really on it going forward. 4-2 win, obviously, for England against Croatia. I'm sure you will know that by now. So, yeah, very happy with the 3 points against, obviously, the toughest team in our group, anyone would argue. So, a really good start and lots to build on. Obviously, a few things to work on as well, but initial thoughts were great. Thought the manager had a really good performance in terms of what he was apparently has said at halftime. His interview after and the subs he made were really positive. And yeah, there were some players who could have played better, which we can go into. But overall, obviously very happy. What did you make of it, and where did you watch the game? Did you go to the pub?
Yeah, I was in the pub. I was in a beer garden, massive screen in Birmingham. Really great game in terms of the way we looked. We looked confident. We looked like, especially second half. First half is a different story, but second half we looked confident. We looked sure of ourselves. It seemed like we had a plan and we were sticking to it and we were executing it. First half, however, was a bit on the wire. We were a bit all over the place. The defense wasn't great, to be honest. We had a lot of mishaps, and I really disliked the thing that we kept doing at the back, just passing it around from the goalie, like amongst the defenders. If we do that against a better team and someone who really puts pressure on us, I think there's definitely scope for us to really cock that up, to be honest, and suffer from this stupid little passing around. I didn't get it at all. But when we were playing it forward, we were playing around Harry Kane, and that is exactly what we should be doing. Harry Kane is the star. He's the one that's going to make it happen. He's the game changer. And everything that we were doing, especially in the second half, was just to playing to Harry Kane's strengths. He looked sharp. Man, he was great. When he missed that first penalty, I almost left the pub.
Yeah, that was such drama in the first 8 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a decision from VAR to pick up on that goalie.
I know. Really good decision. And so there's a lot to unpack there. I agree with you. So first of all, let's talk about the first half. So you mentioned us playing out the back. Yeah, 100%. And again, listening to Tuchel's interview afterwards, he was saying that in the first half, they were playing long when they should have played short, playing short when they should have played long, and they didn't have that rhythm. And I think that's exactly kind of what you said there. And I noticed it in just that we didn't have any rhythm. It was very staccato. And I think you can just put it down to nerves. First 45 minutes of the World Cup, what it means to everyone. And we're used to it from England. We're used to that cagey stuff, right? And I think the manager managed to get the players to let go of the shackles a bit. And we saw that with the way Bellingham just, that first time ball, I think it was from Anderson down the right wing, really good ball. And Bellingham just burst into the box and finished it. It was attacking, it was dynamic. And then the Rashford goal on the counter, it was a completely different second half. And so hopefully we can take that into the next game and the knockouts if we get there, as we should. And at least we kept a clean sheet, in the second half. So it'll be interesting to see if he makes any changes at the back, tighten things up. Like Stones obviously played, but he's not had that much play recently. I was surprised that Gahey started on the bench and that Konza was with Stones. I thought he'd play Gahey with Stones. And so it'll be interesting to see whether he comes in. And then Jed Spence, who came on for Nico O'Reilly, was a bit of a shock to me at the time, but actually he played really well when he came on. So I'll be interested to see how he plays it in terms of changing that defense. But I would definitely expect Rashford to come in for Gordon to start next week, just based on how Rashford played when he came on.
Yeah, 100%. I think he should he deserves a start. He played great. He also influenced the game. He changed the way that the ball was moving, the way that we flowed. I think, again, first game of the World Cup, obviously Tuchel's going to be, sticking to his plan. But that first game was the real test of, okay, who deserves a start? Who is going to be on the bench next week? So, but man, even England scoring 4 goals in one game, they still somehow made it stressful. I don't know. I was just like that first half when it was 2-2 going into the dressing rooms. I was just looking at the screen like, no, not again, not again. How can we score 2 goals in the first half but also concede 2? It was just terrible. It was terrible. But obviously, second half we did bring it back, and that was really great. Apparently, as you mentioned earlier about Tuchel's halftime little blow up as well, apparently he tore into the players at halftime before the second half. So maybe that's what we need. Maybe that is exactly the influence he's going to have on the team. Whereas Southgate seemed a bit of a, he was a bit of a pushover. Didn't really say or do anything.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's the one thing that's giving me more than most the confidence in that we can actually go far, go deep, is the manager. And, I thought that when we got him in, world-class manager, a good tournament manager as well, won the Champions League with Chelsea, having not been there that long. And so I think he'll be that difference maker in two ways, both with the prowess that he has, the respect that he garners from the players, compared to a Southgate who was really good at bringing everyone together, but couldn't necessarily adapt at half time and get the players to change the way they were playing by inspiring them. And then the second point is tactically, I think he adapts, right? He can change formation. He can look at the game and see, okay, during that water break, we need to do more of this. We need to change this. And I think we saw that in the second half, whereas Southgate was a bit one dimensional. We score, we sit back and everything like that. So that gives me confidence. And I'm interested. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that halftime dressing room, because a few of the players said like he did a speech and that he was just telling them to relax and not play with fear. But then a lot of the pundits were saying they reckon they ripped into him. So I wonder if he was like angry and shouting, or was more just, guys, relax. What do you think?
Well, he seems very opinionated. You saw him before the game when they were doing the national anthems and he couldn't see. And all of those camera people were so close to him, like the cameras were literally in his face. And he's just looking around going, why are they so close? What are you doing? Move. I'm trying to see the team. So he's very, very strong, very opinionated manager. So I can't imagine that he's in that halftime after that performance of the first half going, guys, come on, let's just not play with fear. Let's, get together. I reckon he's very, very stern with them. I don't know necessarily if he's shouting, but I imagine he's very no BS. Guys, get your shit together. We've done so many practices in training camp. You're throwing it all out the window. You're playing like a bunch of idiots. Get your shit together. Otherwise, you're off the pitch. You're off the pitch. We've got plenty of people on the bench that could change the game. Get your shit together if you want to keep playing.
Yeah, 100%. No, it would have definitely been opinionated, and he's a great manager. But I wonder whether it was like angry. I'm sure, he knows how best to do it. But I think the one thing that stood out from that was that he said afterwards that he said to the players, if we're going to lose, let's lose the way we play. It won't change what I think of you individually or as a team from the last 17 days of training. That I love. That's just so like, imagine you're a player and you hear that, and just, it's kind of freeing, isn't it? It's like, he's not going to, because you're scared of making a mistake. Oh, is he going to bring someone else in for me? No, he's seen you for 17 days in training. One mistake in the game is not going to change his opinion. Let's not play with fear. Let's play the way we can. And I think we saw that in the second half. So credit to Tuchel, credit to the players. We mentioned Kane. Obviously, we've got to mention Bellingham as well. He had a great game. Brilliant. He's our star, I think. And if we're going to go far, you said Kane's going to be the man. I think it's going to be him and Bellingham, really, that will do it together and bring us forward. So, yeah, great win. 4-2 and on to Ghana.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Mate, I'm so happy with that. It's such a good result, and it's give the country a massive boost in terms of support. Because obviously watching that first game, as you said earlier, we're all expecting a 1-0. Score one goal, sit back, just like we did in the last two tournaments. But that was really good. Just attacking. I love when England attack. They make opportunities, and it's exciting. Hate when they sit back. Yeah. Really happy with the performance, and I think we're going to absolutely smash Ghana. I mean, come on.
Come on. Yeah, and if we do, we win the group automatically. Because Ghana beat Panama, it will be done, because we'll have the head-to-head against the only other teams that could have 6 points, potentially. So, yeah. Come on, England.
Come on, England. It was an absolutely great performance. What did you think of Croatia?
Yeah, good shout. So, I thought that they're fighters, even though they were outplayed, they still had moments of brilliance and they found a way to score. Yes, England were poor defensively, but especially that second goal was a lovely little bit of play in the final third. Intricate, perfect, like world-class play, really. Just that little dink over the top and the header back to know the guy's there, and obviously the volley to finish was a really lovely move. Imagine if England scored that goal, we'd be waxing lyrical about them. So, yeah, you got to give them some credit. They came from behind twice in the first half. Credit to that. But I think, England were favourites. We know that they're older players now, that the end of their kind of golden generation. Modrić got pulled off at 60 minutes, like he's 41, and the boys kind of made sure that they ran him off the pitch. He was a bit slow. He gave away the penalty as well. And so they are struggling now. The Modrić is their leader. He's been there for them, but actually he's a bit slower now. He's lost a yard of pace, and so they're kind of dying. I still expect them to beat Panama, obviously, go through second in the group, maybe win a knockout game, but that's as far as they'll go. And I think for such a small country, they've obviously overachieved in recent years. So would expect a regression to the mean, but
Yeah.
they did all right.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's not a dead team, but they did look pretty old in some moments.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but fair play to them. They'd fought back twice. They just couldn't keep up with England's energy in the second half. That was it. And I think it showed as well that England's not just a good team just because Croatia was a bit shit, because Croatia did play really well as well. It actually shows that we're actually a good team, and
Yeah.
we've got something to us, and they've really been working on what they want to achieve from this World Cup, and it's showing. And I think that's really positive, and I'm buzzing for the future of England there. Yeah, of course, Croatia will go through in our group. They should beat Panama. Again, it depends who they play in the knockouts, but they might get through one knockout stage, as you said.
They're one of your teams as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 2 points in the loss against England, you probably take that 2 goals, and you expect them to beat Panama and get a few more points for you. 2 things I thought that were good omens for England was, one, the fact that we had a pretty tough game first. We conceded 2 goals, so we're now aware of our defensive frailties. That's a wake-up call in a way for the next games, hopefully, even going into the knockouts. And we had to battle, I think that will stand us in good stead rather than just winning every group game 4-0, and then you come up against someone good and you haven't had to be challenged. That's the first thing I think is going to stand us in good stead. And the second thing is that's the first time we've won a game in the World Cup 4-2 since the 1966 World Cup final. So maybe that's a good omen as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm seeing a lot of things lining up that happened in previous tournaments that indicate that England's going to go really far in this tournament. Again, like my German guy that predicted that the Netherlands is going to win the World Cup, which is everywhere now. He's everywhere. People are seeing it, but I'm not chatting shit. There's a lot of things lining up, like Croatia opening game. Argentina won 4-2 against Croatia opening game, won the World Cup. Brazil against Croatia, won 4-2 against Croatia, won the World Cup. Yeah. And now England, obviously, we just beat them 4-2 as well. So, and there's a couple of others. I can't remember at the top of my head now, but I'll find them and send them to you. But
okay, wow. Yeah. Lots of omens then. You heard it here, guys. It's coming home.
Yes. Come on. It's about time. I mean, it might be. You know what I mean? I mean, when you look at some of the other teams that are actual favourites so far.
Yeah, let's talk about the other teams then.
Brazil, they ain't looking like shit. I mean, they're not playing amazingly.
No. And I think they would have been quarterfinals if everyone won and everything happened. It doesn't work out like that. We would have played Brazil in the quarters, which right now they don't look so dangerous, especially in midfield. They look pretty weak. I think England have one of the best midfields in the tournament.